We are just weeks away from the November election, and local voters will decide several races and issues at the ballot box. 21 News is your place for politics, and we're spending 5 minutes at 5 with the candidates to help voters on Decision 2025. Matt Gambrell is running for Boardman Trustee. He is vying for one of 2 seats against 3 other candidates, and he joins me now. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thanks for having me, Lindsay. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so you joined this race. Tell me about your background, your experience professionally, and what would make you very helpful and suited for this role.
Well, I'm 43 years old. I'm a lifelong resident of Boardman. I graduated Boardman High School in 2000. We just had our 25-year reunion at Double Bogies this weekend, so a lot of fun catching up with old friends. I've been a sole practitioner attorney in the area for since 2009. I've practiced in Mahoning, Trumbull, and Columbiana. My primary practice is probate work, so I deal with estate planning, estate administration, adult and competent guardianships, and trusts. And a lot of my day-to-day activities with my work include research, conflict resolution, because you have families during very difficult times, and emotions are high, and often there's money at stake, and you have to work out creative resolutions and know how to mediate between people to get the job done.
Oh yeah.
Asset collection and administration, and of course advising my clients on their best course of action. So that's my professional history.
Yeah, and you're well versed in the legal system and how to handle some of that. So if you were to take over a role, what would be your top goals if elected?
My top priorities would be safety, citizen safety, and maintaining a reasonable cost of living. I think one of the government's top responsibilities is protecting citizens. That's one of the main reasons we have them. And so one of my top priority would be making sure we have strong police and fire and EMS so the citizens can feel safe in their homes. And we also want businesses to feel safe in our town so they'll show up and operate and do business there and bring in revenue. Well, it doesn't just stop at personal safety too. There's also property safety that I'm very concerned with. As you know, Boardman's had a lot of flooding issues in the past, and they have made some significant progress. I'll admit that. I think they just opened up the new stormwater park today, and hopefully that's going to take a lot of pressure off of the people in the northeast part of town who've been getting hit very hard with it. But it's not done yet. I mean, there's still flooding issues popping up all over the place, and we need to continue to be aggressive with addressing these issues. We need to work with state and county government and individual property owners, because those are all the people that are involved and own the property that our sewage system flows through. And we just need to continue to work at that with those people to make sure we address the additional issues of flooding and keep basements dry. The other part I kind of touched on there was maintaining a reasonable cost of living. And that's another one of the things I think that makes our area so attractive, a place to live, is the low cost of living that we've enjoyed for years, and that's kind of been put in jeopardy a little bit with that giant property tax spike a few years ago, and just with the rising cost of everything. I mean, you go to Giant Eagle, you buy 3-4 days worth of groceries, that's going to clean you out, and people are hurting. People weren't planning for these massive increases, and people are having to budget more than they have before, and retirees on fixed incomes are having to make difficult choices. And I think a big responsibility for township trustees is trying to not increase that burden anymore. Tax levies would be an absolute last resort. That we need to maintain responsible fiscal practices to avoid any excess burden on these already stretched taxpayers.
Yeah, we've reported a lot on the inflation. So, when you look at that, I think a lot of people are worried. Also, the budget was $24 million, 16 million of that came from the property taxes. So, do you believe maybe the state should make a change in how the property taxes are calculated, or should they do away with it? I know that's a big conversation in the gubernatorial race coming up. I'm assuming that'll be a big topic in the new year. But what do you think should happen, especially from a township standpoint?
Well, this is a big issue, and everyone, every time I've talked to any reporter, or half the just citizens I've talked to want to know about the property tax, because we got a lot of people talking now, and they're trying to put an issue on the ballot next year to repeal the property tax. And if they do that, then it's up to the state government, so your state legislature, state senator, state rep. It's going to be their job with the other representatives across the state to come up with a new tax plan if it's repealed. It's going to be either income or sales tax. And as trustees, we need to be ready for that change. We don't want to, jump in last minute with a massive overhaul of the tax system. So, what a trustee should do is be, in constant contact with our state reps, know what's going on, have a plan ready to implement if we do change the tax base. And another thing I think is very important, if this change were to come about, we need to be, actively promoting bringing in new businesses and maintaining our current businesses, because if we're sales and income tax based, that's where the money's coming from. So we need to be bringing in new people and making sure our current people are operating and their needs are met.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us here at 5. We hit the 5 minutes, but thank you so much for taking your time to be right here with us. And you can watch more of our 5 Minutes at 5 segments with the candidates. Just head over to the 5 p.m. video tab on the 21 News app.